and to tell you, please, work with us on this.
All they seek is peace. All they lack is peace. But hope is all they have.
So we need the women of Sudan to push for the woman peace mediator to take lead.
Let's keep working to build peace, heal divisions, and extend a hand to those in need, especially the most vulnerable. The United Nations is your ally in this important journey.
For the last 23 months, Sudan has been at war with itself. Two men, formerly working together, disagreed, leading to forced displacement of people. Ugandans, formerly living and operating in Khartoum, were evacuated. The then country's ambassador to Sudan, Haji Yahya Rashid Semodu, was one of them.
Allow me to appreciate His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, and his government for all the efforts which have been made to make sure that a number of 211 Ugandans have been evacuated today from Bahar Airport in Ethiopia by Uganda Airlines.
They were received by the then commander of land forces of the Uganda People's Defense Forces at Entebbe International Airport. General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who is now the Chief of Defense Forces, had words of counsel and encouragement to the evacuees.
We are also happy that we were able to bring you back, and most of you are still in good shape. We are very grateful that you're home.
Ugandans may have been lucky to be successfully evacuated, but some were not. Sudanese had to run for their lives, some ending up as refugees in Uganda. They have since been settled at Kiryandongo Refugee Settlement in northwestern Uganda.
I live in Sudan because my son Uganda, and the war is I have escaped from the war. I'm escaped from the war. My house is burned and stolen anything, and lost my son.
هو ده السبب الرئيسي والحمد لله.
Thank God that all this long journey and suffering that we passed through South Sudan, but we thank God that we have reached Uganda whereby we are now having some rest.
المفروض ان احنا نجيلهم من بدري.
Similar to this is what has recently befallen the people of the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Thousands have fled their homes due to unrest caused by the M23. The conflict, which dates back to 2012, has once again resurfaced, forcing civilians to seek refuge in neighboring countries. Uganda has continued to be their safe haven thanks to the country's open door policy for refugees.
Those who are refusing to go to the trans center, the argument they give is that the trans center is open and it mixes up people. For them, they want to stay as families as one unit, and they are able, but they are not willing to seek asylum. And if you don't want to seek asylum, what are you in this country? I cannot define you.
The M23 is not the only group causing unrest in Africa. In the Sahel, groups linked to Al-Qaeda and ISIS continue to terrorize communities. In Mozambique, insurgents in Cabo Delgado have displaced thousands, while in Ethiopia, the echoes of war still linger in Tigray. Each of these conflicts tells a story of suffering.
There is already the African Union, which is a common umbrella for Africa. It is the body where things are coordinated within Africa. The challenge now is how to strengthen that and how to ensure that our leaders walk the talk.
Africa's conflicts are deeply rooted in political instability, economic deprivation, and ethnic tensions. An example to this is what is currently happening in South Sudan. Reported disagreements between the president and the first vice president continue to cause tension.
When there are issues, we should not get fixated to them. We should, on the contrary, endeavor to resolve challenges and problems and make progress. And indeed, this is how other countries, the developed countries, have made it. Therefore, I'm extremely hopeful.
From the Democratic Republic of Congo to Sudan, Khartoum, and now South Sudan, the grass has suffered the more the elephants have fought. Women, children, elderly, and the disabled have suffered more. The women of Sudan have been attracted to join calls for peaceful resolution of the conflict back home, just as they did in October 2024. Intergovernmental Authority on Development, IGAD, continues providing the platform for these peace-loving women to air out their views.
Because the situation of women now is very, very hard in Sudan, and high number of rape and high number of pregnant and lactating women suspected to deliver for unsafe situation. Now the women in Sudan organize themselves for negotiation, and it is important of the peace.
And as they always say, the fate of nations is dependent on the state of their women. If you look at the top 10 countries that are up there in the development index, they're the same top 10 countries that are up there in the gender equality index. It tells you that when women are engaged in processes, and you have lasting solutions.
While war may be looming, hope remains evidently glaring. Organizations and local communities continue working tirelessly to provide aid, rebuild lives, and push for lasting peace, which is why, across the continent, diplomatic efforts, peace talks, and grassroots movements striving for stability remain evident.
Somebody has built up a small business in Khartoum or Kampala or what, then you start a war. What happened to his business? Are you going to compensate him? Or they will now go to start afresh when they had already built up some capacity?
Their commitment and that of our current IGAD heads of state and government commitment. The unity and solidarity guides our effort we work together to overcome the obstacles and build a brighter future for our region and for our children.
From war zones to peace talks, from despair to hope, Africa's story is still being written. While insurgencies challenge stability, the resilience of its people shines through. As communities rebuild and nations seek peace, one thing remains certain: Africa's hope remains alive. Henry Okrut, UBC.